So it's no secret that I'm quite a big Borderlands fan, and we're just 15 days away from the release of Borderlands 4. And so I thought, to commemorate this exciting time while waiting for Borderlands 4 to come out, I'm gonna try and kill a raid boss every single day until Borderlands 4 comes out. So this is another day of killing one raid boss a day until Borderlands 4 releases. Let's get into it. And we are back with our wheel of the remaining raid bosses. Let's give this boy a spin and see who we're going to be fighting today. And today it looks like we are going into Tiny Tina's Wonderlands to fight Barkenstein. There we go. We'll remove that and load up Wonderlands. And here we are in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with our Trapscallion. Man, this guy is a specimen. What a beautiful creature. Okay, let's play. Let's load on in, and we are already where we need to be, which is inside the Chaos Chamber, because the only way to access the raid bosses inside of Wonderlands is through the Chaos Chamber, and they are all kind of secret hidden raid bosses. So, yeah. Today, we're going to be dropping in for a normal run. And we're going to be looking out for a certain blue glyph. The blue glyph is the one that we need to spawn Barkenstein. Now, I do have a video up on my channel, a guide on how to spawn every single raid boss inside of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And so if you're interested in checking that out, please do feel free to check it out. And hopefully you'll get the information you need if you want to spawn all of these hidden raid bosses in Wonderlands. But for today, we're not interested in any other except for Barkenstein. So the general principle of these is to clear all the mobs, and then when you get to the section where you can either teleport through to a different area, what you want to do is just explore this area to begin with, and if you find one of the glyphs, complete the little puzzle, and then you'll have a chance to spawn the boss. So we're just going to run through this area until we find one of those glyphs. Badass troll, not very badass today, are you, bud? Nice troll witch doctors. I do like the troll enemies in this game. I think they're pretty cool. There we go. Encounter clear. So now that the encounter's been cleared, you see that we have the option to now head through to the portal after just speaking to the Dragon Lord. Don't do that just yet. We're going to turn around and we're just going to have a little look for a green glyph. That's the one we care about. We don't care about any of the others. We care about the green one. Now, it's not a guaranteed chance to spawn. They are a bit random and you won't always get them. But if you get just a little bit lucky, you should be able to find one of them. So I'm going to have a quick look around this area. And normally I tend to find that the glyphs spawn relatively close to the end portal. That's not necessarily confirmed. That's just in my experience what I have found. But yeah, they can kind of just spawn on the floor, on the walls. It can be a little bit tricky to find sometimes. And I don't generally spend too long looking for them. So if I haven't found it relatively soon, I should move on. That's not what you're looking for. That's a skull. That's to do with some other little puzzle that you can do, but nothing really exciting comes from those. I can't really see anything right now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next area. So let's head on through. Doesn't matter which encounter you choose, and you haven't got to worry about making them elite or anything like that, because that doesn't increase your chance to get the raid boss to spawn. The only thing that will give you kind of like, well, not even an increased chance, but more likely for the raid bosses to spawn is if you just do a longer chaos run. The more time you're in, the more areas that you'll do, and because doing more areas obviously gives you a chance each time to find, God, I thought I might die there, to find one of the glyphs, and of course, by doing a longer run, you have a higher chance of getting them, but it's still not guaranteed. I've been through entire Chaos Chambers runs without finding a single one. And that might be because it was too well hidden and I just didn't spot it, or it might be because it didn't spawn. It's one of those, really. But I will say, just sort of as a side mention, that the raid bosses in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands are amazing. They are probably some of the best raid bosses that we've seen in the franchise, and that bodes well for Borderlands 4, which is, of course, coming out very soon, as we are well aware. But they've consistently been improving raid bosses over the years, and I genuinely think, other than being locked behind the Chaos Chambers, I genuinely think that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands has some of the most well-designed raid bosses in the entire franchise. So, like I said, I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with Borderlands 4's raid bosses. And I've heard some very good things. There were a few interviews going on at Gamescom recently where Randy was talking about the endgame difficulty of the game in general and stuff like that. And to be honest, I think 99% of what he said was just really, really positive. Everything just sounded great. Difficulty being a little bit harder, but without being kind of game-breakingly difficult. And everything being balanced a bit better, and they realized that some things that they did in Borderlands 3 went a little bit too far and just ended up being a bit annoying, or stuff that the player base didn't generally like. So I think, you know, as far as what we can trust the word of good old Randy says, we should be looking at a pretty awesome game in Borderlands 4. But I am not finding any glyphs at the minute, so I think I'm just going to head on through to the next area. Yeah, let's head on through. There we go. Encounter clear. Let's smash the dice. Yeah, I even did the side objective. I didn't even realize what it was. Right, and we'll have another look around this area, see if we can find anything of note. It's one of those things, these symbols, where you always think, like, am I missing them? Like, have I not spotted them? But generally speaking, you'll kind of know when you see them. They do glow quite nicely, and if they are there, you will generally find them if you do a decent kind of run around of the map. So, providing that after each encounter you do just have a run around and just look for any glyphs, like I say, they can spawn on the walls and the floor, so just have a good look. And hopefully with a bit of luck, we may be able to get our raid boss to spawn. But what is annoying about these raid bosses is the fact that, A, you have to do Chaos Chambers, which is just a kind of repeatable, like, little side area event that's not very fun, not very interactive, not a lot going on. And also, I want to fight a specific raid boss today. I might just get the other two raid bosses to spawn like 6 or 7 times before I ever see the one that I actually want, which is really annoying. Like, I wish there was a way to target which raid boss you want to fight at which time. But, alas, there is not, and like with all of the other Borderlands games, I do not think there's going to be any updates to Wonderlands anytime soon, especially since Wonderlands is probably universally considered to be the worst of the Borderlands games. Now, it's not a mainline Borderlands title, you know? It is technically a spin-off game, but it is its own full, you know, contained thing, so I would consider it a Borderlands game, since it runs from the idea of Tiny Tina's, what's it, DLC, Assault on Dragon Keep in Borderlands 2. Blue cake of impulse, no thank you. Okay, we're gonna have a quick run around here. Can we find one? Oh, hey, it was right next to us. Here we go. And we actually got the right one as well. Amazing. There it is. It was literally right next to the portal. Okay, for this one, it's going to sprout out a mushroom. And we need to jump on this mushroom and then hit the, wow, the little orbs in a corresponding order. For that, I'm actually going to put on a little bit more of a precision weapon, just because I don't want to mess this up right at the end. So maybe we'll put on something like this will do, the Murky Depths. Will it do? In fact, I think this has got a ridiculous amount of projectiles and charge up. No, probably not. Okay, let's put on a God, give me actually, have I got a weapon? Okay, this will do. There we go, the Hurricane. The Hurricane's a great weapon as well. Right, so we jump on this, and then they'll spawn little orbs, and you just got to shoot them in the order. Pretty obvious which order to go in. Obviously that one, this one here, and then this one here. I think you get 3 lots of these. This is the second one. One there, one there, one there, and one there. And one more. Here we go. Bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. There we go. And then you should get a giant glyph explosion. Boom. Beautiful. How majestic. And that means that we have our raid boss locked in. And the green one there, the one with the mushroom, is the Barkenstein, which is the one we wanted. So amazing. Let's continue through the rest of this encounter. And I want to say that this is probably the final encounter that we actually have to do. So that's good. Mow the rest of these guys down. And I'm thinking of, I've got a few videos ideas, of course, coming for Borderlands 4, but one that I've got before Borderlands 4 releases, in addition to these Raid Boss Everyday videos, is going to be a sort of Vault Hunter breakdown of all the Vault Hunters. Now, we've had all of their reveals, all of their backstories, we've got skill trees and abilities for all of them, so I was thinking maybe I'd do a little breakdown for you guys, just to let you know what each Vault Hunter is kind of about, what their general playstyle is going to be, and just give you a little bit of an insight of who you might want to be picking for Borderlands 4. So hopefully you guys will be interested in that. So look out in the next kind of coming week or so for that video. That should be a good one and should get us all prepped and ready for Borderlands 4, because man, are we getting close now. We are getting dangerously close. Don't get me wrong, I wish it was Borderlands 4 today, I really do, but it's not. So we have more raid bosses to kill, and let's do one of those. And are we at the final one here? We are. Here we go. So this is our boss encounter now. And then after the boss encounter, we have a choice because of finding our raid boss enemy. So well, who do we have here today? Oh, we have Drill, do we? Okay. Very good. It's been a while since I fought this guy, actually. This guy's a pretty cool boss. Oh, the damage when you're in this fadeaway. It's not even fadeaway. I can't even remember what it's called. Like Shadows in the Dark or something. Such a good skill, man. But it's basically Flex fadeaway from Borderlands 3. So come on, Drill. Or Dryle. Whatever you want to be called. There we go. Phase 2. Whose blood is thunder, is it? His blood will be on my hands when I kick his ass. Oh, this saw blade's so good. Look how much mag we have. Beautiful. No, he's gonna die. Okay, well, it's fine. Hey, buddy. Ooh, nice. Good damage. Good damage. Nearly got him. And... ooh, one more. There he is. Very nice. Now the third phase. This boss does have 3 phases. He's very angry. Look at him. There we go. And I think we're going to use this again. Might as well. Ooh, good. Huge damage. Can we just kill him in 1 mag? We might actually just kill him in 1 mag. Ooh, it's close. Oh, yeah, we did. Nice. Get wrecked, buddy. There we go. Very nice. So, yes, after we do this little bit here, we will then have our option. So now we have 2 portals that have appeared. We have the yellow one, the golden one, which obviously takes us to the end, or we have the red portal, which has now spawned because of our Barkenstein, and this is going to take us through to our secret raid boss fight. First, we need to jump over and talk to Tiny Tina, and she's going to get very angry with us that we're not doing it correctly. Before we do that, however, I'm actually going to go into my inventory. Let's just grab one of those and just briefly mention to you about our skills and skill build in case you are interested. Now for our weapons, we have the Wire of the Forest, we have the Hurricane as well, Rider of the Forest, and also a Donkey of the Spire, which are all very, very strong weapons for endgame. We have a Shark's Bane here for one of our rings and a Magic Championship for extra spell damage hit. We have this Furious Assault class mod here, boosting Spell Shot and Stabbermancer, because that is what we're going to be using. Have the Bone Rune, which is going to give us our 15% health restored and 20% fire damage whenever we get a kill, which is obviously fantastic. Our Dirge of Affection, which is dark magic damage and Stabbermancer power, which is great for us, being that we are using the Stabbermancer. And also the Buffmeister spell, which is just absolutely amazing. Going to give us a bunch of bonuses whenever we pop this, and it has a very short cooldown, making it super, super strong. And then for our melee weapon, because we are playing a spell shot, we have the Spell Blade, which is going to give us a bunch of different bonuses and actually make our melee damage deal spell damage as well, which is obviously fantastic. As for skills, like I said, we are Stabbermancer and Spell Shot. Our action skill is going to be the From the Shadows, which is like Flex Fadeaway. Great skill. And for the skills that we're expecting, you can see we're getting gun damage and spell damage bonuses, movement speed and melee damage. Movement speed as fast as we are walking. Stats effect damage is we have evade, so we take damage less often. Crit hit damage is here. And then all the way down into the spell weaving tree, because this is probably the most broken skill tree inside of Wonderlands. The spell shot is incredibly powerful, giving us all of these bonuses like spell shot crit hit damage and also gun damage based on our spell damage, which is obviously absurd. getting our shield back, action cooldown rates, more spell damage, more spell weaving stacks, and spell weaving is going to be our kind of passive, which gives us bonus spell damage, you know, as we're reloading or casting a spell, both of which we're doing very, very often. Then we also have bonus damages here for each spell equipped, and bonus crit hit and gun damage down here. And then obviously for our capstone, crit hits have a chance to instantly reset all spell cooldowns. And obviously paired with our dirty fighting Stabbermancer, whenever we're in from the shadows, we are getting instant crit hits. So we just have a ridiculously high chance to totally reset the cooldown of our Buffmeister, meaning that we can essentially have 100% uptime on the Buffmaster, which correlates to a very strong build, should we say. So with that out of the way, let's start taking out Barkenstein, Keeper of Nature. Now, I would say arguably this is the worst of the 4 raid bosses in Wonderlands, just because he's got just a few annoying things that he does. He doesn't actually have any real crit spot, other than when you are using, obviously, our guaranteed crits with the Stabbermancer. And also, because he does all of these jumping large AoE attacks, they are very difficult to dodge unless you have fast movement speed, which, coincidentally, with our Stabbermancer, we have very fast movement speed, so we can kind of dodge a lot of his attacks. But stuff like that, slam attack, will pretty much one-shot you, and there's almost no way to dodge it unless you're just moving fast like we are. So I kind of just keep circling around as much as we can, trying to dodge his attacks whenever we can as well. And yeah, putting out damage, you know, pretty nicely, really, with this Hellwalker. It's not Hellwalker, is it? What is it called? It's to do with, it's a Doom Easter egg, but I forget what it's called. Hurricane, there we go. Hellwrecker of the Hurricane, there we go. Yeah, so he's an alright raid boss, and he does this move. This is the same, I'm just going to pause it while I explain it. It's the same as the mushroom move. You need to shoot these as they come down, because they will spawn giant, like, AoE patches, as you can see there, in all of the areas where you don't shoot them. So it can make the arena pretty much unbearable to be in if you don't manage to kill those spores. So make sure, if there's one thing you're doing while fighting Barkenstein, it is making sure to kill those spores when he does his big attack. And you should be okay, because those, like you see those clouds there, they will literally instantly kill you, and also put a corrosive dot on you as well, so it just makes it impossible to do anything. So, yeah. Maybe I'll swap off now. That weapon a bit. Swap off to this weapon. We got 100 bullets to lay into him here. Bop, 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 bop. Nice. Come on, Barkenstein. Ow. There we go. And he's going to be very close to dying here. Pop my action skill, and this should finish him off. Dead. Very good. There we go. Barkenstein down. And yeah, these aren't the most difficult raid bosses that we've ever seen in the franchise, but they can be if you actually run at kind of higher mayhem levels. For this one, I was only running at mayhem 10 because, to be quite honest with you, I don't want to grind 100 different levels of the mayhem chaos chamber things. So yeah, we are, I say mayhem 10, we are only at chaos at level 10 at the minute, but for me, that's perfectly fine. Here we got a body rune. Nice. Very good. And we can head through the end portal here to grab the rest of our loot for completing our Chaos Chamber run. Now, I might as well open the chest and then pour all of my stuff into one of these bunnies, because why not get a good loot explosion? Who doesn't love a good loot explosion? But, beautiful. Should we get some more? Ta-da! Amazing. Well, I probably aren't going to see much. We got an ancient deity in there. We got a... what else do we have? A sawmill. Not the best sniper rifle in my opinion. What else do we have? The vast depths as well. Not really one I've messed around with too much, but I don't see that many people talking about it, to be quite honest with you. And a salmon of the mirth. Okay, well, we got a salmon melee weapon. Amazing. Look at that. It's like the fish slap of this game, except this time it's a melee weapon, not a grenade. Not that I wanted it. I just wanted to pick it up. So, yeah, there we go. Very nice. Another day, another raid boss defeated. That was Barkenstein in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you tomorrow for another raid boss kill. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.